Hello, I'm live. My name's Larry Hussey, and my YouTube channel is Drug Force and Consumer News. I have my own idea about consumer news. I think it should be timely and usable, things like that. And I also do selfie documentaries, which this is going to be. This is going to be a selfie documentary. Okay? So there used to be a comedy show in Seattle called Almost Live, and the Washington State city they used to pick on for being stupid was Renton, Washington. Well, I disagree. I think Renton is a very smart city. My nomination for dumb city of the state, dumbest city in the state, is Poulsbo, Washington. Oh my gosh, the people in Poulsbo, Washington, are so dumb that they hate money. They obviously hate money. So when I first moved to Seattle, I said, "Well, I'm going to go to Poulsbo and I'm going to see it because the reason you would go to Poulsbo is that it's on Whidbey Island. And so you take a ferry to Whidbey Island, and then Poulsbo is a tourist town on Whidbey Island that is set up as kind of a Viking town and European town. Viking slash European town for tourists. And there's a lane that you go on. There's like the lane like the Las Vegas Strip where you go on for tourists. And it's fun. Okay? That's fun. Okay. But I've done that. And I said, well, I don't have a car, so I'm going to take the bus. So I took the ferry to Whidbey ferry terminal. And I already knew because I planned my trip that I had to transfer buses in order to get to Poulsbo, Washington. That is one. That's number one. There is no express bus or express shuttle from the Whidbey Island ferry dock to Poulsbo, Washington. There is none. So that's my point number one, why the people in Poulsbo, Washington are the stupidest people in the state. Okay? Stupidest. Because I don't know if you've ever heard this, tourists don't usually drive their own cars. Tourists come here on planes and such, and trains and such, and they don't have their own cars. They might rent one or they might not. Tourists don't have their own cars, but the people of Poulsbo, Washington don't realize this. And so if you want to get to Poulsbo, Washington from the Whidbey Island ferry dock, you have to actually take a bus and then transfer buses in the middle of the suburbs, because I have done it. And if you think I haven't done it, you are wrong, because I know I did this. I did this in the early 90s, and I stood across from a church at this just bus sign. It wasn't a transit center. It was just a sign. And I was like, wow, I'm just standing here. And the only reason I'm standing here is because I wanted to go to Poulsbo, Washington to kind of enjoy the Viking town, tourist town. Whoa. And so obviously I never went back. Oh, I just lost 2 viewers. Oh, well. Uh, yeah. So the so the number one reason why the people in Poulsbo, Washington are dumb, are stupid, is because they have a whole tourist town set up, a Viking town with all sorts of tourist things to buy and tourist things to spend money on and have fun on. And guess what? It's on an island, and there's no way to take a direct bus from the ferry dock to the city of Poulsbo. No direct way. No direct way. You have to, if you want to take the bus, you have to transfer buses. Anyway, I did that in the early 90s, and I've heard it's still the same because they don't care. And so people can drive obviously onto the ferry, but tourists don't drive their own cars onto the ferry boat. They just walk on because they just walk from their hotel downtown. And they go to Whidbey. Let me guess. I'm guessing that hundreds of people go to Whidbey Island ferry dock, They say, okay, how do I go to this tourist town I've heard of called Poulsbo that I've seen on the brochure called Poulsbo? Oh, well, you have to take this bus and then you have to transfer to this bus. Oh, I think I'm just going to go back to Seattle on the ferry and go to the Pike Street Market. How many people do that per year? Thousands. Thousands. The people of Poulsbo, Washington are so stupid they hate money. All right. The other reason they're stupid is because I submitted a film of mine to the Poulsbo Film Festival and they did not select it. So that's the other reason they're stupid. You have 4 minutes left on your 10-minute break. Thank you for watching this selfie documentary.